and welcome. My name is Colm, and with me at this time to talk about just a game very near and dear to my heart is the beautiful Adam Cook. He's near and dear to my heart as well. Hello, Adam.
Hello, mate. How are you doing? All right?
I'm absolutely fantastic because I want to relive 9 years ago. 9 years! 9 motherfucking years have passed.
Before I had a heart attack, mate.
Since before you cast your mind back, I mean, before Adam had a heart attack.
Quite some distance before, actually.
BHA and
Yep.
AHA. Gears of War, Adam Cook.
Ultimate Edition. PC and Xbox One.
Ultimate Edition. PC and Xbox One. This, of course, like the Master Chief Collection, encompasses all of the Gears of War games.
Right. This kind of does, because if you download it or buy it before a certain date, you get the rest of the Gears collection and the backwards compatibility list.
Really? Because I was being facetious. All right.
But they're obviously the original games. They're not like up-res. This hasn't been up-res. It's been kind of redone. Like, it's the same game, but like I imagine people will play this or even watch the footage we're putting out here and be like, it looks all right. It doesn't look that good, but it's like, trust me, it looks significantly better than it did 9 years ago. It really does. Like I think we should preface this because I am an unashamed fan of the Gears of War series. I said this on a recent podcast. I do not give a fuck what people think of me for saying this, but I really, really love Gears 1, 2 and 3. Judgment was alright, but this is I love Gears. I just think that it's the shooter that I most get on with, really, out of all of them, I think.
Well, I mean, in terms of third-person shooters, Gears is king.
It's the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle of the genre, I think.
It's just so tight, and I mean, look, the story, right? I'm going to basically reiterate what you said recently on a podcast, because I'm in complete agreement that, look, everyone knows that, yeah, there are some absolutely fantastic, well-told, really deep and meaningful stories out there. But, I mean, Adam Cook, one of my favourite films of all time is Face Off. Because it's fucking brilliant. But it doesn't need to be this heartfelt, warm
but you know
fucking
what?
thing.
But you know what? Gears of War isn't...
Peach! I could eat a peach for hours, Adam.
Gears of War is not that bad, story-wise. It's really not. And you know what?
Are you saying Face Off is a bad story?
No, I'm saying that you're being facetious because people will say Gears of War's got a shit story. And I'm saying it's not that bad at all. There's far worse out there. Far worse. And you know what? John DiMaggio is a good voice actor, generally a good actor. Him as Marcus Phoenix he does a good job. But on reflection, there are a couple of bits of voice acting that are a little bit dodgy. But generally speaking, it's a military shooter with men wearing these enormous. Look, I don't even want to talk about that because I don't feel like we should need to justify it.
Yeah, okay. Tell me, like, what's new in this Ultimate Edition?
So, the single player is now 1080p 30 frames per second, and the multiplayer is now 1080p 60 frames per second. Now, I think that's because they assume most people will play through the story, maybe not all the way through, but maybe even if they do, fair enough. But then multiplayer is where the game will live. I mean, I was thinking about this. I've barely played multiplayer on my Xbox One, like since launch, apart from unless I had to for reviewing a game like Titanfall. You know, I just don't do it. Like the days of getting in a party chat and playing like some Gears or something, it hasn't existed for me yet on this console, but it does now because this is Gears of War Ultimate Edition with all the maps. It's got extra modes. It's actually got a new 2v2 multiplayer mode on it as well, and they've even included a new map for that. It's just brilliant. Like, if nothing else, what this reminded me is, Jesus, I love Gears, and it's been long enough. Whereas when Judgment came out, it felt like it hadn't been long enough, like it was a game too soon. This feels like it's been exactly the right amount of time, in a way that people will talk about the Rock Band games and that, like it's time kind of thing. It really feels like it's time for some Gears, and it's just delicious. Like it feels so good. Like blind firing that shotgun and exploding a locust, or one of your friends, or someone you don't know. That Lancer. Just the chainsaw on the end of the gun, for God's sake. It's still got I mean, Gears of War was a brilliant game, but it's still got the shit bits. It's still got that mission, obviously, where you're in the car thing and you have to shine the torch at the krill.
Oh.
That's still crap. That's still utter shit. But the rest of the game's so good. It's so good, Colm, and I forgot. I think I always say I'm a Gears fan, but I haven't played one for a while now. No one has, I don't think. And
well, I mean, there hasn't been a Gears game.
no. Well, this generation, and that's 2 years in now.
Yeah, I mean, Judgment is kind of the ugly stepchild of the family.
Because they changed the fucking controls. Like, the game was fine. I didn't like the way they did the story in Judgment at all. I didn't like the jumping back
the
and forth.
The arcadey style.
No, I didn't like that at all. The arcade stuff, no, I didn't like it. But apart from anything else, they changed the fucking controls for absolutely no reason.
So here, like, with this, it's Gears 1 with Gears 3 controls.
Yeah, this is if you took Gears of War 3, but you put Gears of War's everything else into it. So, for example, when you roadie run in the original Gears, you had to be facing forward, so to speak. Now, if you hit backwards and A at the same time, you'll just immediately turn and roadie run the opposite way. I think you can reload while roadie running now. They have added some tweaks, but generally the Coalition they've not really fixed what didn't need breaking. You know, like the only thing I will say is that for people who, I mean, I do think it's a shame they didn't add a horde mode into it, because if you're adding all the other Gears 3 stuff in, like, you know, that would have been quite cool. I think it's a shame the campaign isn't 60 frames. I don't think it's inexcusable, but I do think it's a shame, because when you go back to Gears on Xbox 360, that had some seriously choppy frame rate. That wasn't like 30 frames secure. That was choppy.
But I mean, by all accounts, it must be a sheer joy to go back and play Gears. Like, I sadly haven't gotten a chance to play this Ultimate Edition yet, but like yourself, an unashamed Gears fan, why the fuck should we be shamed anyway?
Do you know what I did? I started playing it for review. Obviously not today. This is a little while ago now. Time we're recording this, and I sat there and I thought, well, I'll play through. I'll have to, I'll play through an act at least, to get a good feel for it. Then I'll jump on that multiplayer, check the servers out, and then at the end of Act 3, that was my first play session. I just could not stop playing it. Like, I played over half the game in one sitting, because it was just that total cathartic joy of Gears of War. And also because I know the game so well that I was getting like little reminders, like the Corpser fight, that I actually couldn't remember how to do it. I had to mess around until literally the tooltip come up, basically saying, "You're an idiot, mate. Shoot the belly." Like, remember? I was like, "Oh, of course you shoot the belly. Then you shoot. Of course you do." Just stuff like that. And I felt like a bit of a badass knowing the game so well, but being also refreshed. It's just brilliant, Colm. It's just brilliant. It has issues. There are still moments when the frame rate isn't perfect. They're very rare. In fact, I only really noticed them when what was it? The Lambent Wretches in the act. Again, not very often. Occasional frame rate stuttering. It looks a lot better. They really have redone a lot. I mean, from what they say in the material, they've redone nearly all the art assets, and it shows. It looks like a new gen game, not to the standard of, say, a Killzone on PS4 or something, but it does, or even a Halo. Well, it does look a bit like the Halo remasters. I don't know. It's just brilliant. Colm, if you like Gears of War, you should buy it. If you've never played Gears of War, you should buy it, because if you were a PS3 owner and you never got an Xbox 360, you need some Gears in your life, man. Go get it.
Most certainly. Thank you very much, Adam. And of course, people can head to the site to read all of your words on Gears of War Ultimate Edition. And like and subscribe.
Patreon.com/GodIsAGeek.
This thing, and Patreon.com/GodIsAGeek if you want to give us some money. So once again, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Now what? Let's get that resonator.
Marcus. What do you think?
What do I think? It could be Alpha, or it could be the Locust setting a trap. There's only one way to know for sure.